Ray McBrien, tough day today. Maybe after 3 years of being the kingpins or the queenpins maybe in the county, it's come to an end today. How's the head?
It's very disappointing, Breffney, to lose the game. Having said that, probably the hungrier team won it in the end. They wanted more than we did, and we came back from the first 15 minutes that they put the scores on the board. We came back into it and drew level, but it's hard to come back the second time around in the second half and expect to do the same again. So it just simply wasn't going to happen. So when we got back level, we could have pushed on another level to maybe get 2 or 3 up at half time, but we ended at half time 2 down. So they had the breeze in the second half, whatever there was. So they did push on in the second half, and they were clinical with all their chances. In all fairness, it is very disappointing now. We have a lot of work put in over the last number of weeks, 10 or 11 weeks, whatever it is. But it's disappointing. This is the end of the road for the 3 in a row is done and dusted now. So it's up to the group to refocus again and come back bigger and stronger next year.
Do you expect most of those girls to still be involved in St. Joseph's next year?
I expect each and every one of them to come back next year, because they're not quitters. Some of them were there since 2007, 2008. We've lost a number of finals over the years, heartbreaking finals, and they all come back year after year. So I can't see anything different happening next year, because they're all young enough to come back and come into the team and push on again next year.
Towards the end of the game, there was a couple of injuries on both sides. I suppose neither player went off, but there was a very distinct kind of slowdown from Michelle Heslin there when she turned her ankle towards the end of the game. Is that a factor in how the game finished up? Because you seem to be coming back into it and pulling them back in point by point.
Yeah, it possibly was, but we were pulling them back in, all right. But we only had them back to 6 points at that stage, and Michelle turned her ankle then. And you're probably right. It probably did. It was a bit of a factor in the beginning of the end, as the saying goes, for us, because once she went off, that was game over. It was a factor. But in all fairness, it would have took a great finish to get back into the game and draw it or win it.
Now, we talked to you a couple of times this season, but it's not just yourself on the sideline for St. Joseph's this year or over the last couple of years. Talk us through who's involved behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, I'm there the last 2 years, but last year we had Brian Mulvey from Clune. Brian done sterling work, great trainer, great coach, great way with players. JP McManus of Carrigallen was involved last year as well. Brian and JP walked away, so myself, I stayed on. James Boyle from Ballamore, he's involved as well, joint manager this year with me, and Adrian Dockery came in this year. Adrian's living in Ballamore. He's from French Park originally. He's a former Scommon under-21 senior team manager or men's manager. He came in as joint manager, so there was 3 of us there this year. 3 of us there, 4 there last year. So it's not all about me, far from it. The amount of work that these lads, James does and Adrian has done, Brian last year, JP last year, it's serious. So it's definitely a team effort.
In terms of the season now, it's over for St. Joseph's girls at the senior level. They're still involved in an intermediate game later on this evening. But yourself, will we see you in black? You're wearing black today. Will we see you in black at men's games later on in the championship, or maybe even doing a senior ladies final? Would that be a little bit too close to the bone?
I think it would, to be honest with you, because we'd see. It's up to the powers that be to decide whether I do it or not. But if I do it, great, and if I don't, it's not the end of the world. I have done a few ladies finals already, so it's going to be a good final. Let it be Ballamore or Kintubbert against Manor in it. It's going to be a good game of football, 2 good footballing teams, whoever it is. So let's not make a big deal about the referees. They don't decide who wins and loses games more often than not. So we'll see what happens.
In terms of, if you take off your St. Joseph's hat and put on your just GAA fan hat, is it good for the game, the ladies' game in the county, to have a new title? There will be a new winner, barring, I suppose, an upset from Kiltubbert, which I think is fair to say will be an upset if they come through and win the championship. But it's looking like there's going to be a new name that hasn't been on that championship trophy for a few years in the county. Is that a good thing for the game?
It's a good thing for the game, but it's not good for St. Joseph's. But yeah, it is good.
I did ask you to take your hat off for a minute.
It is, honestly, it is good for the game, because it's a very strong championship now compared to, say, 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. You had 2 or 3 teams so. The standard has improved as well in the 3 or 4 teams that potentially can win a championship. So Ballamore, Sean O'Heston has come on the scene now. Very good young running team. Manor, of course, have been there for a while now, so they possibly are due one. So yeah, the standard has definitely stepped up, and it'll make a better county team as well. So I suppose in general it is good from a neutral point of view to see a new name on the cup, all right.
And I suppose those intermediate teams, the likes of Drumshanbo and Mohill, qualify for the final this morning. They'll be looking like maybe in a couple of years they could push on to that level as well. So it's all very positive for the ladies' game in the county. But Ray, hard luck today. Well done on everything that the club has achieved under your guidance and over the 2 years before that as well. And hard luck on defeat today.
Okay, Breffney, thanks very much. Thank you.